First, Sky now brings you even more great entertainment.
See me on Sky.
See me
on Sky.
See me.
See me on Sky.
See the world's top-rated shows on Sky 1 and Sky 2 first.
Maximum entertainment.
Sky 1.
See us on Sky. See me on Sky.
Don't see her. See me
First
on Sky 1. See me.
See me on Sky.
On Sky.
More first-run films on Sky's 3 movie channels.
Hey, see me on Sky. See me on Sky.
See me on Sky.
Don't change that channel.
See me on Sky.
You're watching Sky. See me on Sky.
Be there first with even more live coverage on Sky Sports.
See me on Sky. See me on Sky. See me on Sky. On Sky. See us on Sky.
If you want to watch the best, now you know where to turn. First.
On Sky.
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 Is it okay?
This is Sky 2.
A phenomenon. For those who believe.
Deny everything.
For those who don't. The truth is out there.
No other series has had a greater impact on British television. No other series dares to stretch the limits of your imagination. And no other series will take you closer to the edge. The X-Files is unique.
To imagine the kind of success we've had with the show, the kind of international following it's gained, popularity of the show, I'd be a liar to tell you that I ever imagined it could be this successful.
It was a profound and exciting time, the actual shooting of the pilot, and just being a part of that whole experience was, it was wild.
Just the idea was fantastic, and the script was wonderful. It was so intriguing.
What was attractive to me about the character was his the intensity of his conviction to a far out concept and a far out belief system. And I wasn't planning on playing him like a, you know, like Doctor Who.
It's actually, I had written Mulder originally as kind of an MTV VJ. I wanted him to be dry. I wanted him to be acerbic.
I thought David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson were just incredibly talented and charismatic people. Together, it just cooked, you know. It was just a chemistry that just popped right off the screen.
When I first read the pilot script, I was so taken by how much Scully stood up for herself in the face of this supposedly brilliant character of Mulder. That first scene when they first meet each other in Mulder's office.
Agent Mulder, I'm Dana Scully. I've been assigned to work with you.
And she basically stands there. You can tell that she's green, that she's a little nervous, but she stands up for herself.
I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, really?
And also the intellectual repartee between the two of them was incredibly intriguing.
And in Gillian, she actually came in and she was quite different looking than what the Scully that you see on the screen now. She was very urban and a little disheveled. When she came in, I saw that she had an intensity. I felt the intensity in her person and in her performance. And I thought immediately that this is Scully.
And the X-Files had everything.
I knew the pilot was very good. I always knew that the existence of extraterrestrial life and the government conspiracy to keep the truth about that, whatever it is, from us would be the basis and the foundation for the series. So I think the pilot came out pretty much how I wanted it to. And the show has really been a very close product of my original conceived idea.
It was a profound and exciting time.
I just have a lot of fond memories about the whole experience, and I think the show is great.
I knew we had something really good.
T-minus 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0.
Before anyone passes judgment, may I remind you, we are in the Arctic.
I chose this episode because it was really the first time since we started the show that I think we all had a very strong feeling of what it was that we were doing and what the potential was for the show. The whole thing basically took place in this set of winding tunnels and hallways, and it was a very strong sense of confinement and paranoia that was involved, which really gave the episode an edge. It was the first time when we all just really came together and worked really, really hard and felt that we were making something important.
Within a few hours, that parasite had total control.
And it was also the first episode where Mulder and Scully both have to confront each other in a very powerful scene where we pull guns on each other.
As far as I'm concerned, you're all infected.
Hodge is right. We ought to lock him up.
Mulder! Scully, get that gun off me!
Mulder, you have to understand.
Put it down!
You put it down first!
Scully!
And that scene where we check each other in the room is the first time that you really see Mulder and Scully touching each other, and it's very provocative the way the camera moves around us and the way the lighting is with a single light bulb that's swinging, and then for her to start to walk away and him to stop her. There's a moment of fear and tension in that, because you don't know if he's going to attack her, if he has actually been affected by this this parasite. I think there was a huge element of fear in that scene and through the whole episode in general, because they didn't know who to trust. There were all these different co-stars, other characters in the show who were helping us and hindering us.
It's one of you. He's lying.
You could have done it and not even know. It will always stick in my mind as being one of our strongest episodes and one which really represented a turning point for us.
T-minus 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0.
This is
Donnie faster.
I've always felt the X-Files can work on many different levels, and it doesn't always have to be the paranormal. And I think people have said, even though this is a very popular episode, that it really wasn't an X-File. I always felt that that wasn't quite fair. The X-Files can be many things, different levels of the paranormal, of the weird, of the just unexplainable. But really, I set out to scare the audience. But in this case, I think the character was so creepy. I needed this character to be arrogant, and I needed him to have a sort of lack of conscience that came through as well.
There's a deeper psychosis at work here. It's an unfathomable hatred of women.
When you talk to the people who have studied serial killers or people who have these strange bents, they'll tell you that they are all lacking conscience. They have no concept of good or bad, right or wrong, moral or immoral.
Nothing can prepare you for it. It's almost unimaginable.
I thought what was interesting about exploring Scully's fear was that she never lets Mulder see it. She can't. She must appear to be as brave and heroic and unfearful as he. And all of a sudden she was hit with some of her worst fears, some of the fear of what could be lurking just outside the window. And I thought that fear, rather than a boogeyman, an alien, a ghost, something paranormal, was even more frightening to her. And I thought it was very tender and poignant, and that she is able to break down in front of Mulder at the end was a real opportunity to do something nice dramatically with the characters, because we all have weaknesses, we all have insecurities, we all have vulnerabilities, we all have ups and downs and cycles in our lives.
You think you can look into the face of pure evil, and then you find yourself paralyzed by it.
I think that the way I approached it, and the way the episode was realized was really made for one of the best X-Files ever, I think.
T-minus 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0.
I think it was when we did Duane Barry and His Pension in One Breath, which is kind of a three-parter. It was kind of the first multi-part episode that we did, and we kind of went to another level of storytelling than we had been at before. I hear you, Duane.
You hear me because I got a gun.
No, I believe your story. Also, working with Steve Railsback was great because he was just a tremendous actor to work with, and I remember he came in on an off day to play a corpse. I mean, you know, to be off camera. He was off camera for me playing a dead person. So that's the kind of, you know, generosity that he has, even though, of course, he didn't need it because a corpse doesn't really tend to give you that much. Well, you know, I think Mulder wants to believe his story. He doesn't want to believe that it's a delusion, because if Duane Barry's telling the truth, then Mulder's search for his sister or search for the truth about that situation is that much closer. And if Duane Barry is not telling the truth, then Mulder's been an idiot and fooled by a madman.
Where do they take you, Duane? Is there a ship?
There's a moment when, you know, he asks Duane a question and then sends him to the window to get shot. And either way, if he was telling the truth or if he was a madman, it's a sad moment because you know that Duane believes what he's saying.
Go lock the door.
When you look at the episode, the bulk of the episode is just two people sitting, talking. And Chris with the movement of the camera, and Steve and I, by, you know, trying to make the performances lively. I think, you know, we show that the show can be just as exciting talking as it is, you know, running around with flashlights and spaceships and things like that.
I know the pain and the fear you must feel.
He's gonna push him right over the edge. Duane Barry is not what Mulder thinks he is.
And it was just a lot of fun to be able to work together so closely, him as director and me as an actor, so that I just have a lot of fond memories about the whole experience, and I think the show is great. That was my bathing suit. So I chose red long before it was chosen for me in the episode. So we actually had a discussion with Chris, because he asked me if I wanted to wear the boxer shorts. I mean, not the boxer shorts, but the surfer bathing suit. And I opted for reality.
T-minus 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0.
What is this?
The Holy Grail. The original Defense Department files. Hard evidence that the government has known about the existence of extraterrestrials for almost 50 years.
I think there's a lot of mistrust of big government and all of those various and sundry, you know, undercover organizations, and what do they do and who are they spying on? You know, it's the Big Brother thing.
Oh, yeah?
Is Big Brother going to take over someday? And I think in this case, it's even more intriguing because we combine it with the possibility that Big Brother may be in cahoots with some extraterrestrials out there who are ready to come in and take over the Earth.
I found something.
Chris wanted to set this one in Arizona, and the one thing you don't have in Vancouver is desert. You know, my job is to take what's written on the page and turn it into the film that you see. That was a challenge, and we met that by a large portion of the show is set in a stony quarry out in the desert in Arizona on an Indian reservation, on Navajo reservation. I found a stone quarry east of Vancouver here, and I knew that if I went to Sedona, Arizona, that I'd have a lot of beautiful red rock cliffs and valleys and things like that. So I had the art department go in and paint about a half a mile of cliffs red.
You have my files, and you have my gun. Don't ask me for my trust.
Also, it was a challenge because it was sort of a pivotal episode for Mulder and Scully.
I'm going to expose you and your project. Your time is over.
My name is in those files.
Of course, it was our first cliffhanger. A burning boxcar in the middle of the desert, trapped under the ground with no means of escape.
Oh, my God, Scully. What have they done?
To be honest with you, Chris didn't even know how we were going to get him out of there for sure. we kind of had to make up the second part a little later. We just knew it was going to be a great way to leave him.